Alright, now on to Scraptrap's inconsistencies and how I will fix them. I am not ignoring the fact that Scraptrap is inconsistent, because yes, there are inconsistencies. First, the differences in William's corpse. One thing you may notice is that there's far more flesh inside Scraptrap's corpse than Springtrap's. I figured this to make it more anatomically correct. However, we're going to scrap this idea, as the model we're going to be doing today is based on the model that Springtrap already has. But don't worry, it's still going to look like Scraptrap. It's safe to assume that the fire of Fazbear Frights damaged William a lot, and flesh isn't invincible. So there's a good chance that a lot of this flesh just burned away into ash. But bones, however, they don't go away as fast. William was likely in a hurry, so bone damage was minimal. What remained was skull and bones, with only bits and pieces of flesh dangling on. The youth troop was quick to point out that this actually looks like a mummified head, but he was too busy focusing on why rather than why. He focused on the logic that it looks like a mummified skull, so it must be a mummified skull. And yes, these were probably for some reason Scott's intentions. Nonetheless, if it doesn't make sense, you can't just let the creator slip away with that. The focus should be why. Why would William mummify himself? Why would he do this? This wouldn't protect him any more than what he already is, especially in the suit. And more importantly, how? How would William get the materials to mummify himself? It just doesn't make sense. And we're gonna go ahead and say that that is non-canon, and Scott kinda just screwed up on this with the wrong ideas. So, how do you explain the rest of the bones that seemingly just appeared out of nowhere? Well, remember how I said the spring-lock endoskeleton encases you? Well, yeah, the bones would have been hidden from view inside the endoskeleton. Therefore, in the original render, there'd be no need to put bones. So in my redesign, I'm going to show the bones inside the endoskeleton, especially with the exposed arm, which is probably why the bones were added in the first place, coming out of the endoskeleton. The youth troop also pointed out that he thinks that William tried moving the endoskeleton and got most of it off, but this doesn't really make sense, as William is still attracted to sound, which is a mechanic from FNAF 3 that we know happens because the endoskeleton thanks to the phone guy, where he points out that the animatronics will turn and walk towards sound they hear.
For ease of operation, the animatronics are set to turn and walk towards sound they hear.
Therefore, we know that he's not doing it out of his own stupidity, and therefore, we know that it's the endoskeleton controlling him, which cannot be done with only a few measly little parts connected to his body. So yeah, I'll make the skull not look like a mummified head, and instead a skull with bits and pieces of flesh put onto it, hopefully. I'm not sure if this will work, because it'll be quite difficult to make it look good. And I will keep the endoskeleton, but add bones inside of it. Simple, right? Wrong! We forgot one teensy little problem. The thing that everyone sees, the actual suit itself. It is completely different from Springtrap. Well, yes, I do have an explanation for that too, which I thought is original, but isn't completely original. I know a few of you guys have heard this before and aren't big fans of it, but it is the only thing that truly makes sense to me. After the fire of Fazbear Frights, his suit was also badly damaged, and he needed to replace that. Fazbear Frights has collected many props from the past and actually found pieces of other suits, such as maybe another Spring Bonnie suit. I know some people think he just got up and went to another Fredbear's Family Diner, but answer me this. At what time in 2023 is Fredbear's Family Diner still gonna be freaking open? Anyway, he knows he's not just gonna go out and roam the world as a corpse, so he needed to cover himself up. And while yes, it is unlikely to see an animatronic on the streets, places like Chuck E. Cheese do tend to just throw them out sometimes, and it is certainly far more likely to see than corpse on the street. So he covered himself in a slightly different looking Spring Bonnie costume from the past, which all looks beat up, but he knows it's fine as he's meant to look like trash. So that basically summarizes the inconsistencies and how I'll fix them, and now I guess I'll just fix them and show you the finished product. Alright, to look at Scraptrap, let's first look at my redesign for Springtrap, which isn't that different, but I made it a little bit more consistent, which is especially visible underneath the suit. And here's my redesign for Scraptrap. As you can see, the problems that most people have are practically gone, and fixed many of the inconsistencies. In fact, I'll remove the shell now, and you'll see that I put bones and stuff. And I always have found Burn Trap pretty annoying, as it's even more inconsistent to the already inconsistent. So therefore, I did a redesign of Burn Trap as well, built on what I already have from Scraptrap. So there you have it. Actually, here, take a look at a side-by-side comparison of Scraptrap and my version of Scraptrap. To be honest with you, I think it does pretty much everything that I wanted fixed with Scraptrap, and if I could, I would add this version to the game. I'm not even joking. I think it's so much better than what we have now, even though, yeah, it's pretty big of a meme. But anyway, this took like 2 weeks to make, and there are new things that popped up that unfortunately couldn't make the video, as they didn't appear until I was done with most of the video. And yeah, it was pretty annoying. This isn't the first time I've attempted to make this video. I've attempted plenty of times before, but I didn't like how they turned out. Anyway, see ya. Dead walrus.